In this video, we'll be looking at the history of the mining profession and some of the items associated with it. From Vanilla WoW to Cataclysm, players were required to equip a mining pick in order to tap ores to be able to loot them. This was changed in Mists of Pandaria when most mining ticks had the flavor text of "miners need a mining pick for digging," changed to +10 mining does not need to be equipped. Most mining picks in WoW still require the player to have learned the mining profession to be able to equip mining picks. Unlike most other professional tools in earlier WoW, the mining pick did not see different iterations as a tool in the first few expansions. Throughout WoW's entire life, there have been 14 mining picks in the game, more or less. For the first part of this video, we'll briefly discuss each pick, starting with ones added in Vanilla. In total, 10 picks were added to the game in Vanilla WoW, which is where the vast majority of mining picks in the game come from. Today, in Modern WoW, you can currently only obtain 6 of these original mining picks. The Gouging pick is the only poor quality mining pick in the game. It is a rare world drop from several starting old world zones, such as Ashenvale and Hillsbrad Foothills. Despite several of WoW's item and stat squishes, the mining pick, when used as a weapon, has never done any more than 16 damage, and has never sold for more than 7 silver. The next mining pick for Vanilla is the common quality, ubiquitously sold regular mining pick. As of writing this video, this mining pick is sold by over 200 NPC vendors in the game. A similar common quality mining pick can also be found in the Elven Forest from Vanilla. This mining pick is called the Cobalt Excavation pick and has a very low drop chance from Cobalt Geomancers. There was only one uncommon mining pick that came from a world drop in Vanilla. This mining pick was called the Tunnel pick and was a rare drop from some mobs in the wetlands. This pick was removed with the launch of the Cataclysm expansion since the wetlands was completely overhauled and these mobs removed. The next mining pick is also of an uncommon quality and is called Brand's Trusty Pick. It is obtained by the player by completing the quest Brand's Bronzebeard's Lost Letter in Silithus. This pick can be considered one of the most interesting mining picks lore-wise, since it belonged to the famous explorer Brand Bronzebeard until he gave it to the player. Another uncommon mining pick is called Miner's Revenge, which comes from an Alliance-only quest in Vanilla. This quest is called Oh Brother, which was a breadcrumb quest from Stormwind to the Deadmines. However, this mining pick was actually not able to be used to mine anything in Vanilla, since it was actually not labeled in the game as a mining pick. In fact, this mining pick only became usable when it was updated at the beginning of the Burning Crusade. The Miner's Revenge pick was removed in Cataclysm when the Deadmines dungeon was updated. The final 2 mining picks for Vanilla come from 2 dungeons. The first mining pick is the Cold Iron pick, which drops from Hogger in the original Stormwind Stockades. In Vanilla, the pick was an uncommon quality, but in Cataclysm, it was updated to a rare quality item. The Cold Iron pick also did not receive the also works as a mining pick tooltip description until patch 2.3. The second mining pick from Vanilla dungeons is the Digmaster 5000 from Uldaman. This is a very rare drop from trash in the dungeon and is the only mining pick in the game that requires the player to have a classic mining proficiency of 175 to be able to equip it. Only one mining pick was added to the game in the Burning Crusade. The Shatterstone pick is one of the 3 quest rewards that can be chosen after completing the quest Beneath Thrallmar in Hellfire Peninsula. This uncommon quality mining pick was not just a weapon, but it actually worked as a regular mining pick as well, despite it having no description saying it could. This remained unchanged until the Cataclysm when the Shatterstone pick had its tooltip updated to say, also serves as a mining pick. Wrath of the Lich King saw 3 variants of a mining pick added with the creation of the multi-tools with Northrend Engineering. Specifically, the Bladed Pickaxe, the Hammer Pickaxe, and the Gnomish Army Knife, all serving as mining picks as well as having other tool abilities. The next mining pick added to the game came in Mists of Pandaria, the Ancient Pandaren mining pick, which was changed from a one-headed axe to a mining tool in Dragonflight, and it also was reduced to a +3 mining skill down from +10, which was a treasure which spawns in the Jade Mine and the Jade Forest. To this day, it is one of the most sought-after items in the game because it has a special ability that allows the player to loot gems from mining nodes in Pandaria. Warlords of Draenor saw the addition of one mining pick, which was aptly named the Peon's mining pick. This mining pick is also a treasure that spawns in the Spires of Erech. Similarly to the Ancient Pandaren mining pick, the Peon's mining pick allows faster mining, but only in Draenor. Dragonflight saw the addition of 2 new mining picks, the Draconium Pickaxe and the Khazgarite Pickaxe. There was a major profession overhaul in Dragonflight, and most mining picks are now categorized as profession tools. Additionally, several new mining profession equipment items were also added, which included 2 Delver's helmets and 2 ore satchels. While the technical name for mining deposits in the world is resource nodes, WoW has several different names for types of mining nodes in the game. Every mining node with the exception of mineable corpses are labeled as either vein, a deposit, or a seam. The term deposit is by far the most common label for mining nodes. The term vein only has 9 mining nodes associated with it, and the vein name was more common in early WoW, especially in Vanilla, in which 5 of the mining nodes are named veins. Seams were only added for Legion and BFA expansions. These seem to have been an alternative to rich deposits or pure deposits of mining nodes. Because Blizzard only added seams for 2 expansions, there are only 7 different types of mineable seams in the game. In a seamless transition, in Classic, only thorium veins had a chance to spawn as rich, meaning they contained more mats than usual. Since Wrath, almost every new mining deposit added to the game has had a chance to spawn as a rich deposit. This is similar to how in Classic, only certain nodes could have a low chance to respawn as a more rare type of mining node. Also in Vanilla, the mining nodes of thorium and obsidian chunks could spawn as small or large. As you can tell, Blizzard has experimented in how to add different types of rarities of mining nodes in the terms of materials produced. Dragonflight introduced 5 different element-infused types of deposits, which included Molten, Hardened, Primal Rich, and Titan Touched. However, these modifiers are unique to Dragonflight expansion and will probably not reappear in later expansions. Now let's move on to the topic of ores. We'll just scratch the surface on this one, but we'll try to briefly go through each expansion and their main ores used in crafting. In Vanilla and Classic, there are a total of 9 ores. Among these ores, 5 are common ores, which include copper, tin, iron, mithril, thorium, and dark iron ore. Dark iron ore is notable for only being able to be found and smelted in the Black Forge, in the Black Rock Depths, and the Molten Core. There are 4 uncommon ores in Classic, all of which are rare spawn variants of the regular 4 common open world mining nodes. Regular quality tin nodes, when they respawn, can sometimes become uncommon quality silver nodes. Common iron veins have a low chance to become uncommon gold veins, and finally, common mithril veins can become uncommon true silver deposits. The Burning Crusade added 4 new ores to the game. 2 of these ores are common quality, and they are the fel iron ore and adamantite ore. The other 2 are uncommon in quality and are called the Eternium ore and Corium ore. Eternium ore is unique because it is the only ore in the entire game that does not have a specific mining node dedicated to it. Eternium ore only has a chance to be looted when mining the other 3 outland mining nodes, which makes it only one of 2 ores in the entire game that work this way mechanically. Wrath saw some of the lowest number of ores added to the expansion, with only 3 ores being added across Northrend. Both cobalt and serenite ores are common quality ores, and titanium was the uncommon ore added to Wrath. Titanium ore has a chance to respawn the place's serenite node, so it can only be located in the zones of Icecrown, Storm Peak, Sholzar Basin, and Wintergrass. Wrath saw the first handful of updates to the mining profession. First, a new passive ability was given to miners called Toughness, which granted the player a percentage-based stamina buff which scaled with their skill levels in mining. The flavor text of the ability reads, "All your hard work spent mining has made you exceptionally tough, increasing your stamina by X." Both Herbalism and Skinning also received similar buffs. Herbalism granted increase in health recovery and haste, and Skinning passive talent increased critical strike. Also in Wrath, Blizz made it so players could no longer fail when mining, herbing, and skinning. The second major change in mining Wrath was the changing of how many times the players could tap a node to gather all its resources. Mining veins and deposits no longer required multiple hits to receive all the ore, meaning mining ores was now a one and done deal, or at least until the node respawns. These 2 changes of making farming ores faster and ensuring you could not fail at gathering them made the supply of ores in Wrath skyrocket. To combat this a little, in patch 3.2, Blizzard added for the first time a level cap to mining. Specifically, players had to be at level 65 or higher to mine ores in Northrend. The Cataclysm expansion also only added 3 new ores to the game: Elementium, Obsidian, and Pyrite. The first 2 ores are of common quality, and Pyrite is an uncommon quality spawn instead of Elementium. As a fun little antidote, Elementium ore had been in the game since Vanilla, where it dropped from mobs in Blackwing Lair. Most players will know it as part of the crafting reagents for making Thunder Fury Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. When the new Cataclysm Elementium ore was added, the old Elementium ore was renamed to Elementium Ignite. Mining in Cataclysm had one major change, and that change was gaining experience when a character mined a node. Although the mining XP is inversely proportional to a character level, it has not stopped crazy people from doing insane things like never leaving the Pandaren starting zone and getting to max level by just mining nodes and gathering herbs after doing the few introductory quests. Such is the case of the famous double agent character, a Pandaren shaman. There were also 2 minor changes to mining in Cataclysm. First, some of the mining requirements for vanilla nodes were loosened, which made sense with a revamped old world. Second, with Zul'Gurub being removed and completely revamped, the Hikari Thorium nodes were also removed from the game. Now, the Mist of Pandaria expansion added 3 new mining nodes, but 4 new ores. The 2 common quality mining ores of Pandaria are Ghost Iron and Kyperite. The last uncommon node is called Trillium Vein. However, when the Trillium node is mined, you can either get a black Trillium ore and/or a white Trillium ore. This makes Trillium one of the only ores in the game besides Eternium ore, which can drop 2 different types of ores. Mist of Pandaria also added 2 major changes to the mining profession. One of the biggest in the entire game as far as professions are concerned came about at the beginning of Mist of Pandaria, when Blizzard made it so mining picks no longer required to mine nodes. The second major change came in patch 5.1, when Blizzard made it so all mineral nodes despawn 1 minute after they're tapped, even if the items remain in them. These 2 changes remain somewhat controversial to this day, but the optimistic approach is to say Blizzard was trying to free up bag space with the first change and reduce bot farming with the second change. Warlords of Draenor only added 2 new ores, which is the fewest any expansion has ever added. Both of these ores were common quality ores named Blackrock ore and True Iron ore. As a little aside, it is speculated that True Iron deposits eventually become the Fel Iron deposits found in Outland. These 2 ores are also the only ores in the game that do not need to be made into bars before they can be used. Warlords of Draenor saw one major change to the mining profession. During WoD, the maximum WoD skill points available in mining was 700. To help ease the grind for players grinding out the mining skill, Blizzard decided to remove hard skill requirements and add in a yield value to make the progress seem worthwhile. This yield value came in the form of nuggets. Since removing the hard mining skill caps affects all mining from previous expansions, every ore in the game, up to and including WoD, had to have a nugget version that could be mined. For those of you who are not familiar with the nugget system, if the miner is underskilled and attempts to mine a node somewhat within their threshold, instead of ore, they will receive a nugget. 10 of these nuggets can be then combined to form the one ore. In short, the yield a miner is able to harvest from each node is now determined by skill level. However, since World of Draenor, this idea seems to have been abandoned. There were two smaller changes to the mining profession WoD. The first of these changes was a big overhaul to many inventory mechanics in the game, but the most important of those changes in mining was the fact that ores and other reagents can now stack up to 200. The second change was that many of the profession-specific passive abilities were removed. Not even the miner's toughness ability was strong enough to withstand the purge. On a tangent, the tailoring passive ability Loot More Cloth was actually kept, while all other profession passive abilities were deleted. Now, the Legion expansion added 4 new ores to the game: Laystone Ore, Felslate Ore, Infernal Brimstone, and Imperium. All of these ores are common quality, with the exception of Infernal Brimstone, which is somewhat debatable as to even if it can be called an ore or not. Infernal Brimstone is of green uncommon quality and is not mined on mining nodes in the ground. Instead, it is associated with world quests where a player must kill a giant infernal destroyer and then mine its corpse to receive the item. Legion also saw several short mining-specific profession quests to help unlock ranks to different mining abilities, with an upgraded rank usually providing a better yield. Battle for Azeroth added another 4 ores to WoW: Monolite Ore, Stormsilver Ore, and Osmanite Ore, all of which are common quality ores, and the 4th ore, called Platinum Ore, is uncommon. The mining yield ability ranks also made a return from Legion. BFA saw one huge change in the mining profession. At the end of Legion, many profession skill points were getting close to 900. To fix this, Blizzard did something smart and gave each expansion its own separate profession skill bar. This also allowed for a smaller cap for each expansion and is much more preferable to one gigantic profession skill bar for all the expansions put together. While this profession change was applied to all professions, it is still worth noting because of how much it actually changed the mining profession as a whole. Shadowlands has ores that are unusual in 3 aspects. Shadowlands is the first expansion to not feature any quality common ores. Second, each of the 6 zones added in Shadowlands each have their own unique ore that can only be found in that one specific zone. 4 of these uncommon quality ores are from each of the 4 zones Shadowlands launched with. Oxan ore can only be found in Maldraxxus, Fandrum ore in Ardenwald, Sinvir in Revendreth, and Solidium in Bastion. The final 2 ores are both rare in quality, and they are the first rare ores added to the history of the game. These 2 ores are Alethium and Progrenium. Dragonflight brought 3 new mining ores to the game. There is the common quality Cerevite ore, the uncommon Draconium ore, and the rare Khazgarite ore. Another major change to reagents that affected mining in Dragonflight is the ores are now found in 3 different tiers. This idea may seem pretty strange, but it should be noted that this tiered crafting reagent system appears to be a new twist on the upgrading of mining abilities from Legion BFA. Not dissimilar to elementals, if a player has 5 ores a specific tier of an ore, they can combine them to form one of the next ore tier higher. And before we wrap up this video, we'll end on some fun trivia. The first set of trivia is all about mining in alpha versions of WoW. In the original 2004 alpha for World of Warcraft, the spell Find Minerals only lasted for a minute, but it could be upgraded to last for 5 minutes through skill points and levels. If that wasn't bad enough, mining in vanilla alpha only gave 1 skill point per node, but the player had to tap each node multiple times to gather all the resources in the node. There have been 3 ores that have never made it to the live servers. The first of these ores is the Black Steel ore from Classic. The next 2 are both from Wrath, named Azurite ore and Frost Steel ores. There was also one mining pick from Masters of Pandaria Alpha that never made it to live. It was called the Reinforced Mining Pick and gave a plus 15 to mining. For a final bit of trivia, there is a nice trash item added in Legion called the Mining Sword with its flavor text that says, "The blade is chipped beyond repair. Swords are not good for mining." And well, that does it for this video. Thanks for watching until the end. The history of mining isn't the most exciting thing, but there are some nuggets of gold in there. Since this video is getting so long, there will be a part 2 in this video which will go over smelting, bars, elementals, stones, enchants, and mining bags. Take care and remember that dwarves and mining companies are so successful because they have such low overheads. See you in the next one.